gentlemen, welcome back to the Big Four podcast. No Luke today, so this video will likely be published. We'll start with Michigan State. They get an embarrassing win over Wisconsin. Reactions?
Well, it wasn't embarrassing. It was a good win. Wisconsin, I think they shot like 20% in the first half. They couldn't buy a bucket in the first half. And they hung pretty even. Actually, outscored Michigan State by 3 in the second half. But nothing impressive from Michigan State. But I just think Wisconsin couldn't put the ball in the bucket early on, and they dug themselves in the hole they couldn't get out of.
Yeah, I mean, Wisconsin's a great basketball team. They just, they didn't play well. Michigan State took advantage. The better coach definitely goes to Wisconsin. It wasn't a scheme thing. It was more of a talent difference in this game. Of course, Wisconsin never beats us, and it's just the type of scheme they run is just not good enough to beat teams like Michigan State. They can beat crappy teams like Michigan and Ohio State, but they can't beat Michigan State. So, good win. We'll move on. We got a big week coming up, 2 road games, so that was a must-win, and we got it done.
Yeah, who cares? Nobody really cares because nobody wins on the road in the Big Ten.
Yeah, nobody cares, but we'll talk about St. John's.
What does that do to anything?
Because you have a St. John's game on here for picks? That's embarrassing.
Well, we'll get to that. Listen, everybody wins at home in the Big Ten until somebody wins a legit road game.
Maryland's coming back.
Well, okay, that's not a legit road game.
It is. For Maryland, it is.
Well, Maryland didn't show up on the road. They actually have their JV team out there right now. That's a fact. Turgeon, we know Turgeon doesn't get off the plane. He just sleeps on the plane.
He's still trying to figure out. He's still trying to figure out that Connect 4 board.
I forgot to put that on here. Anyways, embarrassing win. Nobody really cares because everybody wins at home in the Big Ten. Which makes some of these games really boring because everybody knows who's going to win.
That's stupid. That's the dumbest thing I've heard in my life. They're all close games.
Yeah, but everybody knows who's going to win.
That's ridiculous.
Never win.
So why do we pick them then?
No, I'm talking about the Big Ten.
I blame teams like Michigan. Michigan's played 100 road games. They haven't won a single one.
Oh, that's why I put more Big East games on here, because nobody knows who's going to win.
That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous.
Okay, we're going to move on. Michigan falls at Iowa. Reaction?
Well, this is the same thing as the first game, except Michigan obviously lost. Can't guard Luka Garza.
It would be the same thing, except they lost, yes, because the first time they won.
When Michigan played Iowa?
Yeah, the first time they won. So it's the same thing, except they lost. That would be a good assessment.
Yeah, well, you didn't let me finish. What I was going to say is it's the same thing because Luka Garza, they couldn't guard him because Juwan Howard refuses double the post. And he dropped 33. And again, nobody wins on the road in the Big Ten. And it's just, it's the same stuff every single time. The same thing every time. I don't want to hear you about Eli Brooks. Should not have been playing 40 minutes
from Eli Brooks.
Yeah, his first one of the year.
I will be talking about him in a second.
Yeah, he plays 40 minutes. That's 40 minutes too many. I don't care if he did well. But Xavier Simpson, I know he's not the best shooter in the world, but Michigan's not going to win a game if he's putting up 7 points. It's just not.
I have a great assessment for. I have a great comparison for Xavier Simpson that I'm sure you two are going to love. Xavier Simpson he's Tum Tum Nair, just stronger.
Yeah.
He's a stronger version of Tum Tum.
Tum Tum was awful.
That's ridiculous. Tum Tum was a great player.
He was so bad. I think Tom Izzo's son was better than he was.
All right, let's calm down. That's ridiculous. Tum Tum, they both can't shoot. They both can't pass. They both can't do anything.
Okay,
so
all right, Mike,
The only thing Xavier Simpson can do is pass.
Stop making ridiculous comparisons. What's your assessment of the game?
Well, I mean, I did watch part of this game, and it was Iowa just blew them out, really. I mean, from the time I turned the TV on, it was all Iowa. So, I mean, Michigan got out. They went on a little run in the second half, but they get up like 6 or 7, and then they fell apart once again. That's on the coach. He's a terrible coach. If I'm the AD there, I suspend him for a couple games and teach him how to coach basketball. So obviously he has no idea how to do it. He's one of the worst in-game coaches I've ever seen. When you get out-coached by Richard Pitino, you know you're in trouble as a coach.
Richard Pitino's a good coach.
No, that's ridiculous. They're just not good. Michigan's got the talent. They got plenty of talent. Even without Livers, they have more talent than Iowa, and they still lose. It's ridiculous. It's an indictment on the coaching staff, and they all should be gone by the end of the year. Bring John Beilein back. Bring this program back to where it was when he was there. As for Iowa, good solid win. They're a good team. You got to beat bad teams at home, and they did a good job there.
I have a lot to say about this game and about Michigan as a team. So first of all, this game, tough loss. Obviously the officials didn't do us any favors in this game. I think the Michigan radio announcers
blame the refs all you want. Go ahead.
But the bottom line is you got to close out games. Michigan had I believe it was a 7-point lead left with only a few minutes left.
Oh, Chris, you know what our sponsor for this video is, right?
What?
Learfield IMG College is sponsoring this video.
Oh, right, of course. How can I forget? Anyways, you got to close out games. This has been an issue all year. Oregon, Minnesota, Iowa. I'm sure I'm missing a couple games there. We got to close out games, and they haven't been able to. Illinois, they haven't been able to do it because they don't have a guy they can go to late in the game. Actually, I believe they do, but they don't go to him ever late in the game, and that guy is Franz Wagner. Every time you give him the ball, he makes a big shot. And then they get down to the late, and they get down to the last minutes.
No, ridiculous. There, he missed a big 3 at the end of that game. I was watching. He missed a huge 3.
He can't create his own shot.
Yes, he can. And if it's not him, it's the Julius. He needs to be on the floor.
If he's a big time player, Chris, he would have hit that 3 close to the end of the game, which would have made it like a 1-point game.
Okay. That's the only 3 it's the only big shot I've seen him miss all year. He makes countless big shots in every game.
Well, what do you mean big shot? Because I haven't seen him make 1 shot all year, so I guess he has no big shots.
Okay.
Look, I haven't seen Xavier someone put in a bucket besides an alley. What's your point?
Oh, that's a good point. Listen, the Julius I also believe is a good closer, but here's the thing. This cannot be the closer to your game. I understand Brooks had a good game, and I'm a big Eli Brooks guy. But giving the ball to Eli Brooks for 2 contested threes and trying to draw you closer on your last 2 plays of the game that we have a realistic shot is ridiculous. That's on the coach. I know he's no John Beilein. And obviously the defense was not good in this game, and Iowa made some shots. You got to give them credit. But it's been a problem all year. They haven't found a guy to close games, and I don't know. Maybe Livers is that guy, but you wouldn't know because even when Livers is playing, you don't give him the ball. They just hand the Simpson. Can't shoot. You can't have a guy who can't shoot taking your last shot. Did it work against Purdue because Matt Painter apparently didn't know what he was doing. You can't give a guy like that the last shot. I do think this is a different team when Livers comes back. But the glaring issue, aside from doubling the post, on this team is finding guys who close the game. As for Iowa, Garza, best player in the conference, good game.
How about McCaffrey? 13 rebounds and no points.
Connor McCaffrey. I was about to get there, Alex.
He pulled a Kenny Goins, scored 0 points and had 20 rebounds.
First team, all Big Ten, Connor McCaffrey. What a player he is. Really a phenomenal recruit by Fran McCaffrey. Good work there. Joe Wieskamp, I'm a big Wieskamp guy, great player. And then just another guy who's bad. No, he's not. Frederick, this guy came out of nowhere, 21 points. So, good for him. They got a lot of weapons. Iowa's a really good team.
Yeah, when their Caucasian players are hitting shots, they got chances to win ball games.
Okay. You got but I'm gonna look here at the AP poll, and I'm going to go off here at the AP poll. You look at some
Okay, that's okay. Talk about changing the subject. Okay.
No, it has to do with Michigan. You look at some of these teams that are ranked this week. The University of Houston is ranked this week.
Better basketball team.
Colorado and Arizona are ranked this week.
Better basketball teams.
Memphis is ranked this week.
Better basketball team.
Auburn is still ranked this week.
Okay, that's an argument.
You are going to tell me that these teams are going to have the same or better record than Michigan with Michigan's schedule?
Yeah, because Michigan's got a gauntlet.
It's about the top 25 right now. That's all that matters.
No, Michigan is top 25 team right now because here's my argument. All the teams nobody wins the Big Ten.
All the teams you just named, I do not think Michigan is better than them.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Chris, did you see that guy? Did you see that guy who forgot to put Michigan State into his poll? He literally said he forgot to do it afterwards.
That's like something I would do.
That's like, this is why the poll is BS, because you got people who don't know what the hell they're doing, taking 5 minutes to put in a poll, and they're just idiots. They don't take the proper time to actually look and see who's good before they make the poll.
You want to bitch about the AP poll? I'm surprised you're not doing it more about Duke staying in the top 10.
Well, I'll get to that. I'll get to that in a moment. But
Butler being ranked, that's disgraceful.
Okay. I wanted to say this about Michigan first. I think it's ridiculous. Nobody wants on the road in the Big Ten. Michigan's taking care of business at home. They got 2 home games this week, and when they win both of them, I'll expect to see it back in the top 20.
Chris, Michigan State's actually 1-1 on the road in the Big Ten, so.
Okay, Northwestern is not a legit road game.
It is right now. They're winning by, what are they up by? 8?
6-11.
Hello.
Okay, and my other complaint with the poll, as Alex brought up, the big one, and actually I have 2 more. Little one, Auburn, no way they should be ranked. They suck. They're awful. The other one, 2, are you kidding me? This team is awful. They barely should be ranked this week, and they're still ranked in the top 10. Give me a break. Over teams like Villanova, Seton Hall, and Michigan State, and Oregon, how is this team ranked over them? It's ridiculous.
I'm telling you, it comes down to Cassius Stanley. When they don't have him, they play 100 times better. It's like the Zion effect. When they had Zion, they played like garbage last year. Just like when they have Cassius Stanley, they suck when he's on the team. He needs to get hurt so that they start playing better.
You know what I think? I think half the AP voters forgot to set in the poll, and they gave the polls that didn't get sent in, they just handed to Jay Billis, and he got to fill them out. That's probably why Duke's still in the top 10.
Well, North Carolina would be in the top 25 if that was the case.
Every ACC team would be in the top 10.
All right, let's move on. Ohio State beats Nebraska and falls to Penn State. Reaction?
Well, that's a great win over Nebraska. I mean, that's a team on the rise right now in the Big Ten. But I think, if you look at Ohio State and Penn State, I mean, they're 2 teams on the opposite spectrum right now. Ohio State started out great, and they've fallen off the table. Penn State, a little under the radar. They're playing phenomenal right now. So I'm a little concerned about Ohio State. I don't like what I see from them right now. I'm not really sure how they started off the way they did. But, I mean, there's something missing right now, and I think if you're looking, you got to get Chris Holtman to get his guys kind of a little more back together on what was working to start the year. Because, I mean,
he's just not a good coach.
I think he's a really good coach. I just think you can't rely on both Wesson brothers to give you 50 points a night.
Bad coach, bad program.
Yeah. Well, he was a former Big East coach. I think you thought he'd be amazing when he first got the job.
No, well, he's not in the Big East anymore.
Well, he was. What did you think of the hire when he first got him?
It was a good hire, but, he's not in the Big East anymore. He's lost his touch.
Or he's actually graduated to a better conference with better teams, and now he's really seeing how that.
Give me that. You know as well as I do, Butler's a better job than Ohio State.
Then why did he take it then?
Great question. The money, probably.
Well, that means Ohio State's a better program because they have more money.
Well, who's the better team year in and year out? Butler.
Ohio State, not even close.
Okay.
Who's been to more Final Fours? Ohio State, not even close.
Who's been to more Final Fours in the last 10 years?
Probably tied. Probably 2-1, maybe.
Ohio State's a football school, too. Butler's only program is basketball.
Well, no, they got FCS football, too.
Oh, sorry, actually. And baseball. I forgot.
Yeah, very good.
Hockey.
Listen, Ohio State, I told a couple, maybe not a couple, like 4 or 5 podcasts ago.
You won't be able to find that, though, because it's probably not published.
I'll be able to find it because I'm the owner of this account. But, yeah, I said Ohio State was in trouble after they lost to Wisconsin, and it's really come true. They've had a couple tough games that they just, they're not good enough to win on the road at Penn State. It's going to be tough for them to go into other road environments and win. Who else did they lose to? Maryland. That's a tough place to play. Minnesota early in the year. I think the Minnesota game really showed that this team, they weren't great. They're a good team. I still think they're good. They're just in a tough part of their schedule. They don't have as much talent as Michigan, so there's not as many excuses you can make for Michigan as you can make for Ohio State here. They're still very young, inexperienced, and Caleb Wesson gets into foul trouble too easily. But I think they'll be okay. I think they'll win their home games. They'll win a couple big road games. I think they'll get back on track. They'll be in the tournament, 6 or 7 seed, which is, I think any Ohio State fan would have taken that.
I've been saying this about Ohio State all year. They're not a very good team. No talent. They lost DJ Jackson. It's just not a very good team. The Nebraska win, okay. Penn State, they got dominated. And here's the difference between Ohio State and Michigan. Both teams win their home games. Both teams lose their road games. But Ohio State gets dominated on the road when they play. And Michigan actually plays good games, but just can't close it up.
Okay, a loss is a loss. It doesn't matter how you lose.
No,
still goes as 1 in the loss column. Still goes as 1.
Don't you always say that a win's a win, Chris?
Yeah, but a loss is not a loss. A win is a win. A loss is not a loss.
All right.
Okay.
All right. We're gonna move on.
All righty then.
Okay. We got some other Big Ten scores here to react to. Iowa over Northwestern, Wisconsin over Maryland, Rutgers over Indiana, Minnesota over Penn State, Maryland over Purdue, Illinois over Northwestern, Indiana over Nebraska, Rutgers over Minnesota. Reactions?
Well, 2 things. One, Mark Turgeon is still in his bed whenever they play a road game. Don't think they have a single road win this year. I mean, that's embarrassing.
He's the Dan Riley of college basketball.
They're awful. They cannot play a road game. If the NCAA tournament better be at Maryland, because they're not going to win a single game. Yeah, give them like home court advantage for 2 rounds.
Final 4 in College Park.
Yeah, honestly, Nick Turgeon might not win that game either. But
Mike, that's why Michigan's going to win the national championship, because Juwan Howard's only good at coaching on neutral sites.
No, that's ridiculous. He played 3 bad teams.
Gonzaga, awful.
Yeah, Gonzaga sucks, definitely.
Yeah, well, they didn't have half their team. They were injured.
Well, when the committee goes and looks at Michigan's wins, they're not going to go back and dissect the fact that Gonzaga didn't have 1 player on their team.
Yeah, they will.
No, they won't.
And also dissect the fact that North Carolina is 8-10 right now.
No, they're a good team. They're going to make a run at the tournament.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe the CBI, sure.
Now, I'm talking about the CIT.
They'd be lucky to make the ACC tournament. Are you kidding me?
And how about Rutgers? Rutgers being ranked. They always get made fun of on this podcast, and rightfully
That's
so.
ridiculous.
But, great win. Great couple wins this week. Tough loss to Illinois, but Illinois is pretty good. So I'm impressed with them. I think they're playing pretty well, and Mike, that Michigan State win over Rutgers is looking better and better day to day.
That's right, and we're lucky we don't have to go to the rack this year because we usually go there every year.
Of course you don't. No, of course you don't because you only play home games.
Oh, well, we got 2 road games this week against 2 tough opponents.
First 2 of the year?
What?
What was that, your first 2 road games of the year besides Oakland?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Oakland. Well, that's a big road game early in the year. How can I forget about Oakland? Starting at the top.
That's the toughest road game you played all year.
Oh, definitely. The fans were going crazy at the arena. All right. Good win for Iowa. Northwestern showing they're good right now, playing well against a great Maryland team. Maryland, classic Maryland, falling apart at the end against Wisconsin. Embarrassing. Rutgers over Indiana, a good win there. Minnesota getting it done against Penn State. Maryland narrowly escaping the upset loss to Purdue. Purdue almost came all the way back. Couldn't quite get it done at the end, but Maryland squeaked out that win. And they're losing right now to Northwestern, so that's nice. And Indiana, okay. Nebraska, that's a great win. That's a Quadra 1 win right there. A win I was not expecting them to get, and they did a great job getting a win on the road in Lincoln. We all know the Pinnacle Bank Arena is the toughest place to play in the Big Ten. That and the RAC are 1 and 2, definitely.
No, Mike, it's the Bryce Jordan Center, remember?
Yeah, the Bryce Jordan Center is a joke. And Rutgers again. So it was a great week for the Big Ten. Listen, every Big Ten team, or at least in every matchup, the Big Ten team won. So keep that in mind.
Yeah. Okay. So, Iowa, okay. Wisconsin, here's what happens against Maryland. The bottom line is, if you take a shot against Maryland in a close game and it's inside a minute left, your percentage of it going in goes up by at least 50%.
I don't think so. I think it's more of, if you miss it, Maryland will fumble it out of bounds on the rebound. And then you'll get another shot.
No, Maryland will tip it in. Mark Turgeon will pull up Chris Webber. I don't know.
Mark Turgeon will... Who knows?
Because he's still in bed because he doesn't show up for road.
Jalen Smith will have to punt back dunk for the other team. Okay. Rutgers, okay. Indiana sucks. Minnesota, these teams just winning at home. It's just good for Rutgers this week getting ranked. But all these teams just winning at home, like I said. Somebody needs to win on the road because this is getting annoying.
It'll come tomorrow when Penn State gets a good win at Michigan.
I think Illinois might do it. They're up by 12 with 10 minutes left right now.
Ooh, that's tough. How do we not pick that game
right now? We did pick that game.
Bullshit, we picked that game.
Yeah, we did. You picked it.
Oh.
You picked Purdue.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Okay.
But Illinois is a top 2 team in the Big Ten. I'm moving them above Maryland.
Okay, well, can't do that.
Maryland should be at 12.
All right. Well, Alex, I never received your rankings or Luke's rankings. So right here we have both Mike and I have our Big Ten power rankings. I'll read off Mike's first, and we can go through those. Then I'll read off mine. So Mike's, I'll start from number 14. Northwestern, Nebraska, Ohio State, Indiana, Minnesota, Penn State, Michigan, Purdue, Iowa, Wisconsin, Rutgers,
Illinois.
State. Okay. Anything to say about these rankings?
Yeah, if I change the rankings, or if I did the rankings again, I'd move Maryland down to like 8th with the way they're playing.
Way too high.
But I made these rankings like 3 or 4 days ago, so they're not quite accurate. But Maryland's making a comeback here, so you never know. Are you going to ask me questions about my rankings, or are you just going to let me sit there?
For Alex to say something.
No, all I said was Maryland is too high.
Oh, okay. All right, well, here we go. I have some issues here. Iowa, way too low. That's an embarrassing ranking for Iowa.
No.
And
They don't play any defense. I can't put them any higher.
no, Fran McCaffrey's a defensive guru. And by the way, Mike, this is shameful that you are punishing Michigan just because they have a tough schedule.
I'm punishing Michigan for getting embarrassed on the road again.
They have a tough schedule and their best player hasn't played over the last.
Yeah, we don't have Joshua Langford either. I don't want to hear the excuses.
Well, he's not your best player. And
he's your third best player.
We don't have Joey Hauser either.
Oh, wow.
Michigan State.
The knockoff version of Sam Hauser. Wow.
The knockoff version that averaged more points as a freshman than Sam did.
Mike, why don't we use that same logic when Michigan State had their embarrassing road loss against Purdue?
Listen, I did use that. Langford wasn't there. That's why we lost.
No, when was he there? 2016?
Listen, we don't talk about when he was here. We only talk about when he isn't here.
Yeah, so he was pretty cool in the 80s, but other than that.
Yeah, listen, we don't talk about that.
Well,
yeah, and and Mike, you can see here clearly your bias is clearly showing.
What?
You just played Wisconsin, and they're somehow number 5 in these rankings. And
Wisconsin beat everybody. They beat like 4 straight ranked teams until they played us.
And you played Rutgers, and somehow they're up at number 4. Interesting, very interesting. You still have Purdue ahead of teams like Michigan and Penn State, and you lost to Purdue. Really interesting there. Your bias is clearly showing it's
well, if I made the rankings today, Purdue would not be this high.
Well, it's shameful and embarrassing and shameful.
All right.
Okay, we're going to go to my rankings now. We're going to my rankings now. We'll start at number 14. Nebraska, Northwestern, Indiana, Ohio State, Purdue, Minnesota, Penn State, Wisconsin, Rutgers, Illinois, Michigan, Iowa, Maryland, Michigan State. Anything to say about these?
Why is Ohio State so low?
Ohio State is higher in my ratings than they are in Mike's.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's yours, so I have to bring it up because you're just fair and happy on it. What do you have them at again?
11?
Yes.
Okay.
This is embarrassing. These rankings are a disgrace. Absolutely absurd. Michigan, what have they lost? What are they, 2-6 versus power conference teams now in the last 2 months? And, we got to move number 4. Only moved down 2 spots. That's ridiculous.
Fun fact, Michigan actually plays road games.
Yeah, well, we do too. We played at Oakland. I bet you $1 billion Michigan would never schedule a road game at Oakland. No way.
Yeah, probably not.
Exactly. That just proves how terrible of a program Michigan is. They don't bother to schedule road games. That's embarrassing.
Yes, that's why Michigan State has played 1 Big Ten road game this year.
2.
And lost by 30.
We beat Northwestern.
I'm going to say it again, as I said last week at the Big Ten. One indictment you could have in the Big Ten is right now there are no title contenders.
Oh, Maryland's taking the lead.
It's right now there are no title contenders. I'm going to still contend that, and that's why I think the Big East is.
Oh, so you're going to tell me the Big East is a title contender?
Listen, I'm not that finished. The Big East is equal, not better, equal with the Big Ten right now.
Okay, that is fucking absurd. I can't even contain my. That is ridiculous. 12 Big Ten teams in the top 40 in K-pop. There's more Big Ten teams in the top 40 of K-pop than there are Big East teams. Are you freaking kidding me? That's a joke. Get out of here.
Hold on. Villanova and Seton Hall are both out.
Villanova lost to Ohio State. Seton Hall lost to Michigan State.
Okay, it's the first month of the season. And
no, really?
Actually, no, all right, no. I'm going to do what you do.
They all mean the same. They all mean the same.
I'm going to grab losses. I'm just going to throw it in the trash like you do with Michigan last year when they beat Villanova and with Michigan State's loss to Purdue. You just grab a game and you just throw it in. It never happens.
We never win in that building. Are you kidding me?
No, I'm just going to grab it. I'm going to grab it and I'm going to throw it away. But it never happened.
Purdue played a perfect game.
Chris,
you picked Seton Hall to win the title, and you just said Michigan State isn't a title contender, who beat your team that you picked to win the title on the road.
Month of the season. They won.
They all be the same, Chris. It doesn't matter when you play them. Doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
Best player in the country.
Mike, you are pissing me off so much right now because you this is completely against what you say.
No, Chris, remember Oklahoma with Trae Young? They lost like their last 10 games. They got in just because of the month of November. Only reason why they got in.
Yeah. Okay. You are contradicting yourself so much.
No, I'm not. Listen, I never said the Virginia Tech loss wasn't going to hurt us. I said I'm not worried because it's early in the season. That doesn't.
You threw it away and acted like it never happened.
No, that doesn't mean it's not a bad loss because it is, even though Virginia Tech's playing pretty well right now. But it's early in the year, and we're going to get better because we didn't peak at Maui, which is like what Dayton did. So, listen, I wasn't too worried about that because it was early in the year. Now, last year was a bit different because that was a flawed Villanova team that didn't go anywhere in the tournament, and that was a good win for Michigan. If Michigan had Juwan Howard in that game, they would have lost by 30. Don't at me. It's true.
John Beilein, Juwan Howard, difference is 60 points.
Listen, that's the difference of 60 points. There's a difference of 60 points between the spread if Michigan State played at Purdue or played them at home. We would have won by 30 if it was at home, and we would have lost by 30 if it was on the road. And it was a Sunday 12 o'clock game. I could continue to make excuses if you want me to. Coming off a big win against
excuses, so go right ahead.
Coming off a big win against Minnesota, the team wasn't ready to go. Purdue played a perfect game. I've never seen Purdue play better. And they still haven't played better since then. They just lost tonight, I'm guessing. So, listen, things happen.
Wait, Chris, who won the Gafford games?
The Big Ten.
Exactly.
Which is, again, and I'm not debating with you guys. The Big Ten is deeper. There's no debate. It's not in.
You just said they were equal in talent. Oh my.
Here's my problem, Chris. You say the Big Ten is deeper, but you say the Big East is better at the top. When the top teams in the Big East lost to the teams in the Big Ten. That's absurd.
In the first month of the season.
Give me a break. Give me a break. They all mean the same. They all mean the same.
Okay, fine. If you're going to use that logic, if you're going to go by the transitive property, if that's what you're going to pull right now, then Virginia
It's nothing to do with the transitive property. Nothing to do with the transitive property.
That's what you're doing right now.
Chris, you're acting like a regular season game. You're acting like regular season games mean nothing now. They only mean something if it's the last week of the season.
Virginia Tech is a better team than Michigan State. You heard it here from Mike himself.
No, we're not a better team. They're not a better team. They just Winston got in foul trouble.
Okay, that's it. Then Michigan State got lucky against Seton Hall.
No, because, we kind of did because Seton Hall choked that game away. We were not playing good basketball, and Seton Hall faked an injury and still couldn't win that game. Just proves how terrible of a conference that is.
All right, we are moving on. We have some intriguing results here. Clemson over Duke, Seton Hall over Butler, South Carolina over Kentucky, Georgetown over Creighton, Alabama over Auburn, Temple over Wichita State, Washington State over Oregon, DePaul over Butler, Florida over Auburn, Kansas State over West Virginia, Arizona over Colorado, Oregon over Washington, Houston over Wichita State, and Louisville over Duke, which I would like to talk extensively about with Mike, actually. So you guys can say what you want about these games.
That was a fluke.
Oh, of course. Of course, yeah.
Yeah, Duke sucks. It's just, honestly, it's kind of crazy if you look at how nobody can win consistently. I mean, Oregon has these huge wins when they lose to Washington State. I mean, Duke can't beat Clemson. I mean, I think the whole year as a kind of to sum it up all so far, it has just been insane. When you really look at it, the teams, there's no business winning against certain teams. They're somehow winning. Again, Washington State, Oregon, Clemson, Duke, Temple, Wichita State. It's just crazy. Freaking South Carolina over Kentucky. Kentucky also can't win a road game, but that's for another discussion.
Well, they just beat Arkansas.
Yeah, because John Calipari did great coaching and got himself thrown out.
Yeah, that's our
Capillary. Interesting.
Well, there were some big games. Inexcusable loss for Duke, I will say, because Clemson, unlike every Big Ten team, is not in the top 40 at KPOM. Purdue's at like 30-something, so that's a loss you can live with, a road loss. You can't live with a road loss at Clemson, though. Although Clemson, they're okay. They were coming off the national championship loss, so they were motivated to play. Seton Hall, easy win. Butler's not good, so that's a I wouldn't say that's a good win. It's an okay win. I don't care about the SEC. Just skip over Georgetown. Nobody cares. Auburn sucks. It is their record. Well, whatever. The record is good because they played nobody. I think everybody's realizing that now. Oregon's overrated. I think we all knew that. Embarrassing loss to Washington State.
Chris gets hard over Peyton Pritchard. So
I love Peyton Pritchard.
Peyton Pritchard, who only plays well on CBS, doesn't play well on any other network when they play. Down the line, again, who cared? Once again, Butler getting blown out by a team that's better than they are. Keep going down. Florida, good win. Kansas State, they're in a rebuilding year, good win. Arizona, who cares? That game doesn't mean anything. Couldn't care less about the Pac-12. Once again, another Pac-12 game. Now, the American, that's a big win for Houston. Trying to make a charge at the NCAA tournament. And Louisville with a fluke win at Duke.
I don't know, Mike. I want to hear you say more about that game, actually.
Well, listen, Duke didn't play well. They had Cassius Stanley on the floor, which makes them worse. And they couldn't get it done. And listen, they got lucky because Louisville's best player, once again, didn't show up in a big game. And they still found a way to win, which is a good thing, although I still don't think Louisville's a tournament team. They're just not very good. Flukes happen once in a while.
All right.
This is equivalent to Michigan State's loss against Indiana last year at home, where game day was there. They got all happy, they got all fat and sassy, and they lost. It was a fluke.
Okay. So, Duke sucks. So I was over that earlier. Good win for Seton Hall. Whenever you beat a top 5 team on the road, obviously that's a
top 5 in quotations, because they were not even close to a top 5 team.
Well, they were ranked in the top 5.
They have no talent at all.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned with Butler. They struggle to score. They really struggle to score sometimes.
They got the lefty. That's all they got. They got nobody else.
Yeah. They're a top 20 team, but they're not. They weren't in the top 5. They were just hot at that time. South Carolina, that was a crazy shot at the end of that game. So good win for them. Kentucky sucks.
What's the score of that Villanova? What's the score of the Villanova game?
Villanova was up by 13, I think.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
Okay. Tough loss for Creighton. They get ranked for the first time this year. Really tough loss, but a good game for the Big East. Trying to maximize tournament teams. Always love to see that.
Yeah, they'll maximize it with 3 or 4.
Auburn, they suck. Wichita State sucks. I don't think the American Conference deserves a team in, and if they do, it's UConn. Tough loss for Oregon, but I want to get the other Oregon game in a second. Another game for the Big East. Not a good loss for for Butler, but it does maximize tournament teams once again. Every single bracket I've seen now has DePaul in the tournament. So you love to see that.
Well, when that Butler loss gets worse and worse, it won't matter, and they'll drop out.
Auburn still sucks. West Virginia, the Big 12 sucks, so not surprised they lost. The Pac-12 is awful. Don't care about that game. It is awful, though, except for Oregon. Wow. A circus shot by Peyton Pritchard to win them the game. And,
oh, my God, Peyton Pritchard. Oh, my God, Peyton Pritchard. Oh, that's all you sounded like.
Listen, and he hit a 35-footer to send it to overtime.
He's not good. He's not good. He can't. He's a little white boy. He's not very good.
He might be the clutchest player in college basketball.
Excuse me?
What?
Oh, who's more clutch than him? Maybe except for Miles Powell.
Joe Wieskamp.
Okay.
It's not funny. It's true.
Wichita State still sucks. Duke still sucks. Great win for Louisville, which is looking like a great loss for Michigan. So good job by Louisville.
Great loss. Louisville has beaten one tournament team all year.
Winners or losers?
I don't know. My winner, I'll give it to Rutgers for being ranked this week. And my loser is the Big East Conference.
Sure, yes.
Yep, Chris always talks about how the top of the conferences mean everything, and now that Butler's fallen off a cliff, the top of the Big East has been compromised. So that automatically makes the Big East the loser of the week with Butler's 2 losses, and it's about to be 3. My other loser is going to be Northwestern for blowing this freaking lead to Maryland. Winner of the week, Illinois, big week.
Yeah, my loser of the week going to be the Duke Blue Devils. Awful, terrible basketball team, terrible coach, not enough talent, not a good team. And my winner of the week has to be the Big East Conference. Seton Hall asserting themselves the best team in the conference, one of the best teams in the country. And, of course, 2 wins for Georgetown and DePaul, trying to maximize tournament teams. Great week for the Big East.
Yeah, Mike, the Northwestern game's not over. There's 4 minutes left.
Yep, there's still a loser for blowing the lead.
Yeah, Mark Turgeon's the loser for this being a 4-point game.
Yeah, if it's a close game with a minute left, the Maryland choke will be coming.
It's a 2-point game now.
Okay, we move on to the pick.
Wait. Let me just talk about Illinois for a second, because they only have 2 losses in conference, and if it wasn't for that blown lead with 2 minutes to go against Maryland, they would only have 1 loss, and it would be at Michigan State. They're the second best team in the conference, and it's not even close. Not even close.
Well, they're going to lose at Michigan this week, so.
I got Illinois. They're a more talented team and better coached.
Okay. Let's move on to the pick. And we haven't seen this in a while. I've taken sole possession in first place. What a moment. 20-5 for me this week. What a week.
Did you just give yourself a win for every no pick that we had?
No, I only gave myself a win if I predicted it right.
I bet.
So Alex was 15-10. He's just 1 game back. Mike 16-9. 2 games back. And Luke just a slight 17 games back. Finished 17-8 this week.
So you want to do the football picks? Only 17 back.
Yep. Okay. So we already picked some games. NC State and Virginia. Luke was the only one to get it right. NC State won. Butler, Villanova. I have. Let's see. Mike, Luke, and I picked Villanova. Alex picked Butler. That game is still ongoing.
Alex picked Butler? Are you fucking kidding me? That's shameful. Shameful.
Maryland and Northwestern. Everybody picked Northwestern except for me. I picked Maryland, probably because you all were cheating and looked at the score.
No.
Because Maryland doesn't have a single road game win this year.
No, I definitely did not look at the score. I looked at the head coaching advantage, which clearly favored Northwestern.
I called them crappy Maryland since day one, so that's enough.
Illinois and Purdue. We all picked Purdue. I think we're all going to be wrong. Florida at LSU. Let's see. Mike and Alex picked Florida. Luke and I picked LSU. I believe LSU is on the verge of winning that game. Okay, let's get into the other picks. Texas Tech at TCU.
Well, let me look up the score here.
LSU's up 8. What was the game? So
Texas Tech at TCU.
Oh, it's a tough one. I'm going to go with TCU because nobody wins on the road.
Ooh, it's not the Big Ten. I'm taking Texas Tech.
I will also take Texas Tech. The Big 12 is a joke. TCU is the worst team in the Big 12. They have no chance in this game.
They have the same record.
Yeah, they haven't played anybody.
The same record.
Okay, next game. St. John's at Marquette.
Who cares?
Yeah, this is the one game I'm not picking this week.
Yeah.
That's the no pick for you too, Alex?
Yeah, who cares?
Well, this is actually a really big game. Two teams, especially St. John's, is kind of scrapping right now to stay in the tournament. Marquette is a 9.
What tournament? The CIT? What tournament are we talking about?
What are you talking? Most of these brackets have St. John's in.
What?
Yeah.
No.
The guy from Fox has them.
St. John's. Let's see who they played, and let's see who St. John's. 12-7. A lot of record for St. John's. Lost to Vermont. Arizona State got destroyed. Let's see who else. Butler lost. Xavier lost. Georgetown lost. They've won one Big East game, and you're telling me they have them in the tournament. Are you fucking kidding me?
The guy from Fox. This is the guy from Fox.
They've won one game. They beat DePaul. That's the only win they have.
They beat West Virginia.
They beat West Virginia by 2. That was a fluke. I think we all know that.
Yeah, Washington State beat Oregon, but I'm not calling Washington State a good team.
They did beat Arizona, but they also lost to Arizona State. So that's ridiculous.
The guy from Fox has them in.
Who?
Mike DeCourcy.
He is a moron. I want Howie Schwab back.
Okay. Anyways, Marquette, 8 to 10 seed right now. I think Marquette gets it done because they're at home.
Oh, the great Marquette. Who have they played? 13-5. Okay. At least they have some wins.
Won't be showing up in a big game.
At least they're 3-3 in conference.
What's the worst conference in college basketball? So it's not saying much.
True, they did lose to Wisconsin by 16. That's another big win for the Big Ten right there. They lost to Maryland by 21. Another big win for the Big Ten.
Okay, next game. Penn State at Michigan.
If this game was at Penn State, I'd be taking Penn State, but since it's home, I'll pick Michigan.
I usually never pick Patrick Chambers on the road, but he is playing a coach that he can definitely coach circles around. I'm going with Penn State in a blowout.
Okay, interesting pick there. I'm going to take Michigan because they're at home. Still no words on. I don't think Livers is playing tomorrow, but it seems like kind of a lingering injury here.
Yeah, sounds like Josh Langford 2.0.
Got to get him back. But I'm going to pick Michigan because they're at home.
He'll be out for the season, and Michigan fans will be making excuses.
Arkansas at Mississippi State.
I like Arkansas to bounce back. I'll take them.
No idea why this game's on here. You got two bad basketball teams. I don't know what you were thinking, Chris, to have this game on here. Explain your reasoning. Because that's ridiculous.
Well, I think Arkansas is a really good team, and they're going on the road to a tough environment. So
tough environment, huh?
Is there such thing as a Mississippi State basketball staff?
Yeah, there is.
Mississippi State's 11-6 on the year. Lost to LSU, Alabama, Auburn, New Mexico State, Louisiana Tech, Villanova. Jesus Christ. They suck. Arkansas.
New Mexico State's always a good tournament team.
I will say Arkansas is pretty good, although they lost to the best teams they played on their schedule. So I guess both teams will probably want to lose. And a great loss against Western Kentucky. I'm going to take Arkansas.
I think Arkansas in the close one. It's going to be a tough environment. Okay, Creighton at DePaul.
Yeah, I don't want to pick this game. I'm going to go with Creighton because I don't like DePaul.
Oh, boy. DePaul's 1-point favorites. The great DePaul Blue Demons, were they 1-6 in conference play? 1-4? They suck. They suck. The great Creighton team, who everybody overrated by putting them in the rankings. They are 3-3 in conference play, although they did get an embarrassing loss against Michigan way early in the year. So, I mean, it's going to be a close one. It's going to be a game nobody will be watching. I'm taking Creighton because DePaul is really bad.
I'm actually really excited for this game. It's tough to predict this one. I'm going to take Creighton, just only because DePaul is coming off an emotional win against Butler. Creighton is struggling a little bit. I think they're due. I'll take the Blue Jays.
This is like us picking Class D games instead of Class AA games in high school basketball. Oh. You're the only one that knows anything about these teams because nobody gives a crap about the Big East.
You didn't watch them play Providence the other day?
Who?
Creighton?
No.
Why not?
Because there's probably a Big Ten game on that I want to watch.
That's ridiculous. Rutgers at Iowa.
Iowa seems to play well at home, so as much as I like Rutgers, I'll take Iowa.
Again, it's going to be really strength versus strength in this one. You got one offensive team that loves to score the ball. You got another team in Rutgers, which is their top 10 in defensive efficiency under Steve Peichel, the great Steve Peichel. This is going to be a tough game. I think Rutgers will give them a much better fight than Michigan did. I think it will go down to the wire, and Iowa's going to pull it off in overtime because of the great Joe Wieskamp.
I actually like Iowa big in this game. I think Rutgers is good, but they're not in Iowa's class. But I like Iowa to win this game big at home.
What, Iowa's class, the same team that lost to Nebraska?
Yeah.
I guess by the transitive property, Nebraska's better.
Minnesota at Ohio State.
Ohio State's really struggling, but again, nobody wins on the road, so I'll take Ohio State.
I'm taking the Buckeyes by 25.
Ohio State in a close one because nobody wins on the road. Michigan State at Indiana.
What is it?
Michigan State at Indiana.
Oh, the Assembly Hall, what a tough place. But unfortunately, Indiana really sucks. They're the Texas college basketball. So I'll take Michigan State.
Pretty sure Texas is the Texas of college basketball, the way they're playing. All right, so big stretch for Michigan State. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of the next 7 games are on the road, and I think we only have 6 home games left on the year. So it's going to be a very important game. I think we could definitely go 7-0 in this stretch and really put this Big Ten out of reach. And I think we'll start with getting a good win here. Indiana, listen, that place will be rocking. We all know how big of a game it is for Indiana. But I think Michigan State's better. I think they'll win 5 or 10 points. Michigan State.
Yeah, the exception to the rule of nobody wins on the road is with Northwestern, Nebraska, and Indiana. Those 3 teams are jokes of teams. They're
really
awful. So I will take Michigan State.
Who's beaten Indiana at their place this year?
Didn't Florida State win that? No, they lost there.
They destroyed Florida State.
Did Arkansas win that?
Oh, Arkansas won there. So they did destroy Florida State.
Okay. Next game. USC at Oregon.
Oh, Jesus. Chris is the king of putting games nobody gives a crap about on the podcast.
Yeah, I don't care about USC basketball, and so I will take Oregon.
USC is god-awful. They started off strong, but they've really fallen off. Terrible loss against Washington. And they played nobody since. I'm taking Oregon by 88 points. I'm going 89-1.
I do like Oregon in this game, and the reason why this is on here is so I can just talk some more about Peyton Pritchard. What a player. What a player Peyton Pritchard is. Right now, has my vote for player of the year. The way he's been playing, I think Oregon is easily a Final Four caliber team, and they may win the whole thing with him playing. My dream matchup in the championship is Oregon-Seton Hall. Give me a rematch.
Great loss against North Carolina, too.
You just called yourself a Michigan fan. You don't even want them in the championship game?
They don't deserve to be in the championship game where they're playing.
Yeah, maybe the NIT. They'd be lucky to get there.
Okay. Next game, Wisconsin at Purdue.
Finally, a good game.
Well, as Mike has pointed out, Purdue does not lose at home, especially this time of year.
Except for tonight.
Yeah, well, Illinois is good. So I think Wisconsin's going to struggle a little bit. I'll take Purdue.
Yep, Wisconsin. I'm surprised we didn't pick Wisconsin-Nebraska today. That's a big game. A game Wisconsin could definitely lose. I'm taking Purdue because I think the style of play really favors Purdue in this one. Wisconsin their style of play works well against poorly coached teams like Michigan, Maryland, Ohio State at times. But when you play a well-coached team, it just doesn't work as well. So I'm taking Purdue.
Yeah, I'm going to take Purdue because they're at home. They'll bounce back. But let's stop the narrative that Mackey Arena is just so impossible to win in.
It is when the fans are motivated.
Give me a break. I'm sorry. The University of Texas won there this year.
Yeah, I told you when the fans are motivated, then you'll lose there. If the fans don't care, you'll win.
And Purdue was just thoroughly dominated by Illinois in the second half.
Yeah, because the fans didn't care.
The fans didn't care about playing a ranked team.
Nope. It's Illinois. Who would care about playing Illinois?
It's a false narrative, and really, after this win for Illinois, I think Michigan State should drop out of the rankings.
Well, we beat Illinois by 20, so.
Doesn't matter. Okay, Marquette at Butler.
If one of these teams wasn't ranked, I'd say who cares, but we know Marcus Howard won't be there. He's like Mark Turgeon, he just stays home. Mark Turgeon stays home during road games. Marcus Howard stays home during good games. So I'll take Butler.
Jalen Smith gets a tip dunk for the other team on that shot.
Go ahead, Buck.
I'm taking Marquette because Butler's terrible.
That's exactly why I put this game on here. I'm going to take Butler. They 3-game losing streak. They're going to bounce back with a big win over Marquette.
No, Marquette's way better, way more talent. Yeah.
You sound like Chris with the talent wins games. Oh, crap.
Talent doesn't win games, but talent puts you in position to win games, and coaching wins games. And really, both teams have no coaching, so I'm not worried about that. It just comes down to talent in this one.
That's why Seton Hall's top 10. Coaching wins games. Kevin Willard, best coach in the country.
Yeah, who did Seton Hall lose to? Iowa State on the road? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's tough to beat a team twice in a week because they had to play them in the Bahamas. So.
Chris, we beat you 2 times in a week, so last year before the tournament. So, big difference.
Okay. Illinois at Michigan.
I'll pick Michigan because they're at home.
Give me the better team. Give me Illinois.
All right, Mike. So you're going to tell me at the end of the week that Michigan's going to be 11-8.
I think so. Listen, the way I can't trust Michigan at all. The way they're playing right now, I can't trust Juwan Howard. I couldn't trust Juwan Howard to get me a drink of water, let alone coach a freaking basketball game.
So you have Michigan 11-8 at the end of the week, sitting on a bubble.
Yeah, I do. Listen, it's no shame to lose to Illinois. Illinois is a great team. The way they're playing right now, not a lot of teams can beat Illinois.
Okay. Yeah, Michigan's going to win this game because they're at home, and no way Illinois is going to win 2 road games in a row. That's not going to happen. I'll take Michigan. Villanova at Providence.
Why are we picking this? This is a stupid-ass game that nobody cares about.
Make the pick. I care about it.
Don't Providence care about this pick. I'm going to take Villanova. This Providence is a disgrace to college basketball. Ned Cooley should have been fired 4 years ago. Wrong. It's a horrible game. It should not be on here.
That's ridiculous.
I'd rather pick every Washington State game rather than pick another Providence game.
Providence is a good team.
They're not good.
Yeah,
They're a good play-in 11 seed every 3 years.
ask Northwestern how good Providence is.
Once again, I'm just going to throw out wins from earlier in the season. I'm throwing those out.
No, the Gavitt games wasn't early in the year. That was in the middle of the year.
No, I'm throwing it out.
It's actually late in the year, technically, because November's, what is that, the 11th month of the year?
Okay. Go ahead, Mike. Who do you think?
Ooh, well, listen, Providence, the only reason why Dave Cooley's there is because of the camp. That probably makes him all the money.
Get that.
I think Jay Wright's a better coach. I think they're the better team. Providence, they're okay. They can't shoot. They can't shoot to save their lives. I'm going to take Villanova.
Providence showed me something the other day when they almost won at Creighton. David Duke had 36 points in that game. This is a really good team. They're still kind of they're still looking. They got that win at Marquette, but they're still kind of searching for that signature win to try and put themselves in the bubble and in the tournament conversation. I think they're going to get it in this game. It's the toughest arena in college basketball. It's Dunk. Villanova coming off a big win over Butler. Gonna have a little bit of a letdown. I think Providence wins this game.
Well, that's an automatic win for me.
I can't believe you picked Providence.
LSU at Texas.
Are we picking every Big 12 SEC challenge game?
No.
Texas. You know what? A lot of teams don't win on the road this year, except for LSU, because they're playing at crappy, terrible Texas. So I'm going to pick LSU because Shaka Smart's a fraud.
I think Shaka Smart gets a big bounce-back win. Listen, if Texas wants to win the Big 12, they got to start playing better. I think they will. I think they're going to beat a crappy LSU team.
The Texas is awful. Everybody here knows that. Mike tries to claim that they're some sort of good team or Shaka's some sort of good
Listen,
coach. He's not.
Texas they're a solid team. You can't say they're a bad team.
I actually can because I just did.
Well, you're wrong.
So I'm taking LSU in this game, even though everything is telling me not to because they just got a big win against Florida. I do it for a letdown and everything, but I can't pick Texas. I'm taking LSU.
Texas could be playing Chevers High School. He'd be taking Chevers.
Yep.
Providence could be playing Chevers, and then I took Chevers.
Virginia Tech at Boston College.
Yeah, this might be the worst game of the picks. I have no idea why this is on here. This is on here for me to pick Virginia Tech. That's the only reason why this is on here.
Two bad teams, right, Mike? Two awful teams.
Okay.
Oh, Virginia Tech's an awful team, huh?
Oh, Tim Miles is on the St. John's Marquette game.
Oh, really? I have to tune into that.
Tim Miles, let's go.
What was the game again?
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
What was the game?
Oh, I'm watching that.
Virginia Tech, Boston College.
I'll take Virginia Tech.
Yeah, me too. Way better basketball team.
Listen, this is an obvious pick. It's Boston College.
How much do you want to tell me Boston College's record?
Let me explain this. Then I'm going.
They are 9-9. BC is 9-9, coming off an 18-point loss against Wake Forest, 16-point loss to Syracuse, 19-point loss to Georgia Tech.
So you're telling me they're due?
Almost a 40-point loss against Duke. 40. Are you kidding me?
So you're telling me they're due?
Okay. That might be the stupidest argument in sports.
They're due. Boston College is due.
Yeah.
Virginia Tech, not a good team.
Northwestern was due today, and they lost.
All right, let's go. Make a pick.
They lost Syracuse at home, and I do think Syracuse might make a tournament run, but And if they get in the tournament, they'll be in the Final Four. So I'm going to take Boston College. Next game, USC at Oregon State.
Who cares? Oregon State.
Give me the Beavers.
I'm going to take USC to bounce back. Kentucky at Texas Tech.
Oh, this is a good game.
Yeah, for once a good game on here besides the Big Ten games.
Not a good game.
No, Kentucky can't win a road game, so I'll take Texas Tech.
Texas Tech. Let's look and see. 12-5. They won 2 games last week. That's why they're ranked. They're gonna get a big road win today against TCU.
They're losing right now.
Oh, they are. They're gonna lose. They're gonna lose to TCU, and then they're gonna beat Kentucky.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Kentucky. This is not a game John Capillari loses.
Well, okay, that is the stupidest thing I've heard in my life. John Capillari never loses big road games ever. Like, never in the history of Kentucky basketball. Only about 3 or 4 times a year.
Baylor at Florida.
Actually, I like Florida in this one. I'll take Florida.
Well, I've been riding Florida all year long, basically. It's just not really happening. But I'm still going to take them because I think Baylor, they're good, but they're not great. I'm taking Florida.
I'm also going to take Florida. I've been on Baylor all year, but, Florida's playing well right now. Good win over Auburn over the weekend. They competed with LSU tonight on the road. I think they get it done in the swamp. I'll take Florida. Maryland at Indiana.
Well, I don't think it's too hard. Maryland does not win a road game, so Mark Turgeon will be back at College Park, and I'll take Indiana.
Listen, it's a CBS game. It's on the road. It's a game where Maryland is not going to show up. It's a game where Indiana will show up after losing to Michigan State on Thursday. And Indiana is going to get a huge bounce-back win. Archie Miller gets his statement win as the head coach at Indiana. He's going to win 81-38, Indiana.
That's disrespectful. I had 166-0 Indiana in this game. Maryland can't play on the road. Nothing Indiana. Okay, Michigan State at Minnesota.
What is it?
Michigan State at Minnesota.
Give me Minnesota.
We neutralized a good Minnesota team at home last week. This is a tough little road trip for Michigan State. Got to go to Bloomington, then you got to go to Minneapolis. Fortunately for Michigan State, it's a Sunday, they'll all be at church, all the Minnesota fans. It'll be an empty arena. But I'm still going to take Michigan State. I'm going to take them by 5. Similar score to Indiana. I think they'll win close. We don't lose on Fox. We only lose on CBS and ESPN. We don't lose when we play on Fox.
Nobody went to the road in the Big Ten unless it's at Indiana, at Northwestern, at Nebraska. I'm taking Minnesota. Ohio State at Northwestern. Final game.
I just picked Northwestern and they lost, so I'll pick Ohio State.
Yeah, I'm taking Ohio State. I think they'll go 2-0 this week, get back in the rankings.
Ohio State because Northwestern sucks. Anything else to say?
Yeah, Michigan sucks, and they're going 0-2 this week. They'll be 11-8 on the bubble, on the NIT bubble, because they're on the bubble right now. And listen, I think Juwan Howard, this is my hot take, I think he will be fired by the end of the year.
Could you imagine if they fired him?
I would fire him right now. Are you kidding me? It's embarrassing the amount of talent that team has. Even without Isaiah Livers, it's embarrassing the way they're playing right now.
Okay. Anything else before we finish?
I'd like to congratulate Maryland on a big comeback win. I mean, there's nothing else like Northwestern blowing big leads. We know what they did a couple of years ago, blowing that 40-point lead at home against Michigan State, where they shot a great, what did they shoot, like 7% in the second half? So that was a great memory.
Okay, that's going to do it. We'll be back next week. Make sure to tune in for some Big East basketball tonight. St. John's at Marquette.
Tune into the Big East podcast with Chris. We're trying to get that going.